In the mid-1970s, America was in crisis. Gas prices were soaring. Fuel shortages created panic. Consumers were desperate for something new, something efficient. And that's when a revolutionary car appeared. A sleek, futuristic, three-wheeled vehicle called the Dale. It promised 70 miles per gallon. A lightweight body. A price under $2,000. It looked like the future, but the future was a lie. This is the story of one of the strangest automotive scams in American history. A car that barely existed. And the mastermind who convinced the world it did. The year was 1974. The oil crisis had shaken the United States. Drivers were waiting in long lines for gasoline. Detroit's massive V8 cars suddenly looked outdated. Americans wanted fuel efficiency. They wanted innovation. They wanted hope. Enter Geraldine Elizabeth Carmichael, a confident, charismatic entrepreneur who claimed to be developing the next great American automobile. She announced the formation of the 20th Century Motorcar Corporation. Her flagship product? The Dale. A three-wheeled, two-passenger vehicle with 70 miles per gallon, 0 to 60 in under 12 seconds, a fiberglass body, front-wheel drive, and a retail price under $2,000. It sounded impossible, but people believed it. Carmichael wasn't just selling a car. She was selling a vision. She appeared in interviews. She spoke confidently about engineering breakthroughs. She promised thousands of jobs. Investors lined up. Over 20,000 people reportedly placed $50 deposits to reserve a Dale. The company claimed it would build a massive production facility in California. Media outlets covered the story enthusiastically. A woman leading an auto startup in the 1970s? That alone was headline-worthy. But there was one small problem. The car didn't really exist. Only one prototype had ever been shown, and even that one barely worked. Automotive experts quickly noticed problems. A three-wheeled vehicle can be efficient, but it can also be dangerously unstable. The Dale's design raised serious questions. Could it really handle highway speeds safely? Was the 70 miles per gallon claim verified? Where were the crash tests? Where was the factory? Engineers who looked closely realized something alarming. There were no production-ready blueprints, no working assembly line, no credible engineering team. The revolutionary technology was vague and undocumented. Behind the flashy presentations, there was nothing solid. It wasn't innovation, it was illusion. Then came the twist that turned this from a business failure into a national scandal. Investigative reporters discovered that Geraldine Carmichael wasn't who she claimed to be. She was a fugitive, wanted for counterfeiting charges. Carmichael had transitioned and built an entirely new identity while on the run. When reporters exposed her past, the media frenzy exploded. But beneath the headlines, the financial reality was worse. Investors had poured millions into a company with no viable product. In 1975, the California Department of Corporations began investigating 20th Century Motorcar Corporation. They discovered severe financial irregularities. Funds were being spent, but not on building cars. There was no operational factory. No production line. The company collapsed. Carmichael disappeared before sentencing. She remained a fugitive for years, reportedly living under multiple identities. It would take nearly a decade before she was finally captured in 1989. The Dale never entered production. Fewer than 3 prototypes were ever completed. The revolution never happened. Here's where the story becomes complicated. Or did it begin as a dream that spiraled out of control? Some argue Carmichael believed in the concept. Three-wheeled vehicles aren't impossible. Companies like Reliant in the UK had made them work. Even today, startups experiment with three-wheel efficiency designs. But belief doesn't replace engineering. Ambition doesn't replace manufacturing, and vision doesn't excuse deception. It collapsed because it had no foundation. The Dale is more than just a failed car, it's a warning. When innovation sounds too good to be true, it usually is. The 1970s oil crisis created the perfect environment for disruption. Today, in an era of electric startups and billion-dollar valuations, the story of the Dale feels strangely familiar. A revolutionary vehicle, massive hype, huge promises, minimal proof. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, and sometimes it rolls on 3 wheels. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, be sure to subscribe for more.